Honor released a huge new upgrade for the Magic 6 series. I have it here on my Magic 6 RSR version 900-161, and this is almost like an upgrade from the Magic 6 series to the Magic 7 series. Why is that the case? Let's check it out and let's get started. Let's get straight to the point. Why is this a very, very huge update? This has something to do with the camera update, because the cameras here have a massive upgrade that they received. First of all, when you go into your camera application and you're under portrait mode, you have now harcourt portrait style filters, vibrant by default, harcourt colors, and the classical harcourt filter here. And let's check out some photos that I did with all those three here to see how portraits have been improved with this update. Let's check out the portrait shots with harcourt portrait mode. This is the default mode. I photographed Timmy, and I was surprised about the sharpness and detail level that I get here, because usually I didn't get this in the past when it comes to the Magic 6 RSR, at least in this kind of level when using the portrait shot. Also, I think the cutout is done much nicer there. You can see the gradual cutout there, even though it's not perfect, I would say. Next, we have a portrait shot also with the harcourt vibrant shot, and this looks nice, I have to say. It's a bit over sharpened, a bit redoing my eyebrows and eyes there. It's a bit dark, a bit too contrasty, I would say, but the cutout is nice, and I think it is an improvement to what we had before with a little bit of an overexposure face. Then we have the harcourt classic mode that I used here. This one is now done with the 2x zoom instead of the 2.5, I think it is, that we had before. And this one is a little bit softer, has some issues with redrawing, so still very weak, but it's an improvement, at least in terms of colors, which look quite nice. Black and white is also possible. This is 1x now. And you can see this is like the one that gives you most sharpness and is the most harcourt-like in this case. So if you like black and white portrait photography, this is the one thing that you will like the most here with the new harcourt portrait style. Then 5x is also possible. This is now again the vibrant style that we have here. And also in terms of sharpness and detail level, it is there, but it's like no comparison to others at this level with like the cutouts and so on. It's just like not so great. You can see like it's like blurring out even my chin a little bit. So this needs, I think, still a lot of work. And here like it's blurring out everything there. So just the face is like, it looks not good, like I say, like this. So yes, 2.5x is probably the optimum, and 1x, 2x is a bit soft, and forget about 5x. And this is again another 2.5x shot. You can see how much better it looks like. And the sharpness and detail level is, I think, a little bit overdone there. It's a bit too sharpened up. We saw that already with the Magic 7 Pro. They're using basically the same algorithm here. So yes, it is a bit overcooked, overdone. I think Honor still has to work on this portrait mode, not to over sharpen everything there. At least the face colors, and if you don't zoom in, it looks pretty nice and pretty okay. And what you probably noticed is that we have another new aspect ratio, which is 5:4, in which those harcourt portraits are shot. You can still switch to the old 3:4 if you want to, but I think this new style gives it a very unique kind of look. You can now turn on AI photography, which will improve the capabilities of zooming in. So if you're zooming in on certain objects and you want to take a photo, AI will kick in and will improve those photos, almost just like at the 7 Pro. So if I'm zooming in a bit further here, we have AI enhancements taking place that are enhancing the photo a little bit, so you get a clearer picture than before, which is, I think, a very nice addition. However, it's not the exact same implementation as we saw on the Magic 7 Pro series, so this is something that they improved a little bit, the telezoom performance, but it's still not the AI kicking in that is completely reimagining things and optimizing every little piece of it. Another thing that you can find in the camera application is the possibility to remember settings, so we have the possibility to see the remember settings option, where we can set up all the things that it should remember. So like, for example, if you have HDR turned on, moving photo, motion sensing, capturing, filters and camera modes, you can just save it and it will remember it on the next time you start the camera. Very, very useful. Apart from camera upgrades, what we have as well in the gallery app is the new option to just cut out a piece, just like, for example, me here, and I can just directly share it to my space or copy it somewhere I want, which is, I think, a nice idea. And we have some more options that you can see here, what you can do with this photo. And another thing that you find in the gallery is the AI Edit button. This one will allow you, first of all, in crop mode to automatically adjust the angle, which is quite nice. So it will auto-adjust it if you want to. But we have Magic Retouch, we have some adjustments filters, and we have new text filters. As you can see here, we have various different options to choose fonts now. Reminds me a little bit of the CapCut editing application, and bubbles that we can add here. So a little bit more of optimizations here, also with the little different fonts that we can add here to adjust our text on photos. Another new thing is under the gallery app AI Edit, you have now under Magic Retouch AI Outpainting option, and then you can just paint it out. It will take a few seconds to do it, but it is working very reliably, and I think we saw it already on the Magic 7 Pro series, so this is not a completely new feature, but it's very good that Honor is adding this feature also to the very powerful Magic 6 series that can also do this, and as you can see here, it's looking pretty nice. Another useful feature, sometimes you photograph something and there's a QR code inside, and what you can do now if you have it in your gallery is go onto more and say scan QR code in image. In this case it is just a text file, but it will scan the QR code. Very useful if you want to connect to Wi-Fi, for example, in hotels or something like this, want to share it with friends and you want to use it later on to scan it for yourself. This is possible now as well. A very cool feature they added to this new operating system is, here we go into your account settings, 3D avatar. If you click on try it now, you have the possibility to create a new one or just choose one that is already available. And if you create a new one, you have the possibilities to choose here man or woman. Then you have different head types there. We have different hairstyles, eyes, eyebrows, and you can create your 3D avatar and you can even dress him up the way you like it, for example, and then you can just simply save it and use it as a 3D avatar for your wallpaper, for your lock screen, whatever you like. Honor also added a new AI feature, so if you have a long text in your notes application, you can press on this AI notes and have then AI summary, AI format, AI minutes, and summary, for example, gives you a nice summary of the text, which is quite compact in comparison to the very long text that I have here. So very useful feature if you work with text. Then there is a long-awaited feature for everyone. If you go into your settings, if you go to accessibility features, and then you go to shortcuts and gestures, we now have the screen on-off option, and we can raise to wake, double tap to wake, but also double tap to turn off screen, which is quite a nice feature, because then I can just double tap here to turn off the screen, double tap to turn it on. Very nice feature. Other phones also have this for a long time. Honor didn't, and now they included it. Very nice, Honor. Then we have a new option for setting up the volume. If you go in here, you can make it larger. You can set up the volume for alarms, notifications, ringtones. And if you go to your settings, you go to more settings, we have app volume control, which allows you to adjust the app volume individually when an app plays sound. So this is quite interesting. So if I have an app to play sound, I can set the volume for this app individually, in contrast to like it was before, where it was taking the global volume. So this is now a possibility. I think only Samsung phones have this. I didn't see it on Vivo or on Huawei or on Xiaomi for that matter. So this is quite an interesting feature if you want to play a lot with sound and volume. Then there's a new circle to search option here that you can activate it. If you have the gestures turned on, make sure to have the show navigation bar turned on as well, so that it shows this navigation bar, otherwise it will be useless. And when I go to a website like this, for example, I can press and hold here longer and it gives me circle to search. I can circle and it will search then. So just like on other phones, you don't have to use the knuckle gestures for this, which is also, I think, for some people who are used to use other phones, definitely a nice feature they added here. Another cool new feature, if you have Bluetooth headsets, now in the control center, if you swipe down and go to your Bluetooth settings, and finally it was in the Chinese model, it wasn't on the global model, you can just press here to deactivate the connection with a Bluetooth device. Yes, finally also for the global model. Parallel space allows you to have like a parallel space with different applications, different wallpaper, different account settings. If you go in here, you can enable it, and you now have also a new discrete mode that you can use here if you want to. I'm not using this at all, so I don't really need this, but it's nice that it's there. These are the major new things, features on macOS 9.0.0.161 on the Magic 6 RSR. It will be also available for the Magic 6 Pro, maybe 9.0.0.160 instead of 61, but it would have the same kind of feature set probably. And yeah, it's a nice update. Of course, we get the March security updates, we get like some battery optimization, system stability fixes, and so on, the usual thing. I think this is a great improvement. I'm a little bit disappointed still by the harcourt portrait shots there. I think they could be even better, but yeah, it's a progress. It is at least a little bit better than it was before, I think, in terms of portraits. And what do you think? What is your impression? Write it down in the comment section. That's everything for this short little video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Until the next time. Bye.